So one of the things that tends to come up a lot in a lot of the workshops that I go to that are farming related around vegetables is, what do you do for compost? How do you make your compost? Where do you make it? I was just at a workshop last week. This came up. And the answer for that farmer, and he's farming a lot of land, 20 acres of vegetables, was, I don't make my compost. I don't have time. It's not worth it. And that's one thing I don't think people really think about when it comes to compost. How much time do you put into it, given what you get out of it? I'm here to say, on a home scale, or maybe even a homestead scale, for somebody like me, it's crazy. It's not worth it. Now, time, again, that's my precious resource that I have. It's not worth me taking the time to spread and turn and build compost piles all the time. It's just not for the amount of compost that I would get off of it. Because one of my big constraints on a small land base here, I have a little less than 3/4 of an acre that I'm working with. The house sits on that, so even less land is available. It's sloped. As you can see, there's not a lot of biomass in the background. So now I'm spending time collecting and importing biomass, or I have to go down the lines of looking at carbon sources like cardboard or newspaper, paper, and I don't really want to do that. Again, not worth the effort. What I'd rather do is spend a little bit of money and get stuff like this delivered. This pile behind me started out 20 yards. It cost me about $600 to get it delivered from San Pasqual Valley Soils. If you're in the San Diego area, that's where I got it. It's great stuff. It's a mix of plant-based compost and cow manure-based compost. I had them blend it. And for me, why is this the answer? For 600 bucks, I get 20 yards, which is all the compost I'm gonna need probably between now and the end of the year. It gets dropped off in one shot. I can move it all at once. I can finish this infrastructure project all at once, and I'm done. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. If I'm trying to make my own compost to finish this project, this would take a lot longer, because again, I don't have the materials to generate this volume of compost. Now, I can get free compost at a few areas. Why not go get the free compost? Number one, I don't have a truck. I have a Prius, I have a van. The van's full of car seats. Taking the car seats out is a pain in the butt. The Prius, I can only fit so much in it. About half a cubic yard. So to get this volume of compost, even for free, it's gonna take a lot of time for me shuttling back and forth to the compost site to get that, quote, free compost. The compost itself is free. My transit time, I'm not paying myself for that, and there has to be a cost to that time. So there's actually a big cost to that free compost. There's a big cost in the opportunity loss of time. How long would it take to accumulate that much compost? Because the project I'm taking on is big. So make sure you scale your inputs, you scale your expectations and your context with what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get a big project done fast, if you have some money, one way to get that project done faster is to use money as a tool to leverage your time. Buying compost is one way that I've done it. Overall, it's worked really well for me going down this path. It saved me a ton of time doing it, and I get a better product. That's the other thing here. These people, they make tons and tons of compost every week. They have all the materials on site. They have all the equipment on site to do it right. The site itself is set up correctly to do it. I don't have that. It's dry here, it's not raining most of the year. Trying to keep a compost pile wet is tough. You gotta cover it, it's a nuisance. A lot of the water goes right through the compost pile into the ground. You waste a lot of water. Water's not cheap. So in many ways, it is a lot cheaper at the end of the day for me, especially if I value my time, to get compost brought in. This is what I'm gonna do from now on. It's not worth me huffing it. Same thing with mulch, wood chips, any of that. Cheaper, time-wise, holistically, for me to pay to bring it in than to go pick it up myself or to try and make it on site. So that's one little strategy that I use to increase the value of my time and make what I'm trying to do possible on a small scale doable. That's all for today. Stay tuned for the next video. In the meantime, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.